In the scorching summer, the sun blazed down on the mountains, creating a sizzling heat wave that made the cars grumble. Lightning McQueen, Rod Redline, Vladimir Trunkov, and Miles Axelrod were four friends who had traveled across the country to explore the mountains. They loved nothing more than cruising around the hills, hitting jumps, and having the ride of their lives. As the day began, the four friends made their way to the mountain. The climb was steep, and the road twisted and turned as they made their way up. Finally, they reached the summit, and the view was breathtaking. The lush green valleys, the rolling hills, and the sparkling rivers were all spread out before them. The cars couldn't wait to get started and began revving their engines. Without wasting a moment, they set off, each one trying to outdo the other. The hills were steep and the roads were narrow, but the cars were confident in their abilities. They took turns leading the pack, taking sharp turns and jumping over rocks and boulders. Sometimes they would ride side by side, jostling and pushing each other playfully. As they rode, they came across a steep incline that led to a cliff. Without hesitating, the cars raced up the hill and launched themselves into the air. They flew high above the mountains, feeling the wind rush past them as they soared through the air. It was a moment of pure exhilaration that made them feel alive. When they landed, they found themselves in a thick forest, surrounded by towering trees. The shade provided some relief from the scorching sun, but the ride became even more challenging. The trees were tightly packed, and the roads were narrow, making it difficult to maneuver. But the cars were undeterred and continued to push on, dodging trees and weaving through the forest. As they rode, they spotted a small clearing up ahead. Without warning, the cars picked up speed, and before long, they were racing towards the clearing. The ground beneath them became bumpy, and the cars jumped and bounced wildly, but they never slowed down. When they reached the clearing, they realized that it was a small field, surrounded by tall trees. The cars took a moment to catch their breath and enjoy the view. The field was covered in wildflowers of every color, and the trees towered over them, providing a welcome shade. It was the perfect place to take a break, and they parked their engines under the trees. As they rested, Vladimir Trunkov noticed a black parachute lying nearby. He picked it up and showed it to his friends. They were intrigued and decided to give it a try. They attached the parachute to their engines and set off once again. The wind caught the parachute, and they were lifted off the ground, soaring high above the mountains. It was a thrilling experience, and they couldn't get enough of it.
Please watch the next video.